Hello everyone. I've got a cat in my lap, so I can't get up. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. I'm doing all right. This cat is not the healthiest cat, unfortunately. She's kind of old. We got her from my girlfriend's grandma. Couldn't take care of her anymore, so hello, me. Nice name. I like your name. All right. Yeah, tonight, I guess I'll start by saying that I guess I start every stream this way. I'm not an expert in the thing that I'm doing. I'm not an N64 speedrunner. I'm not an N64 controller builder for people. But I have some Kitsch-Bent, I think that's how you pronounce it, Kitsch-Bent stuff, replacement things for N64 sticks, stock OEM sticks. The ones I have are, well, all right, now it's time for you to get up, Bill. Sorry. Yeet. You have to go over here. The ones I have are straight from, actually, I don't even know where I got this one from. My childhood console when I was a wee lad was a Donkey Kong, the Jungle Green, that came bundled with the expansion pack and Donkey Kong 64. So that was kind of late, actually, in the N64's life. This was, well after the fantastic consoles were out. Hey, Belmont. I know she wants to sit in my lap again. She's doing it. Okay, so I don't know. So I don't remember where I got this gray one from, because the only controller that came with the console when we bought it was the Jungle Green one that you may have seen me put the blue, 8-bit DOE wireless board into, which I have another one. I don't think we're gonna get far enough to like fully reassemble this controller tonight. Maybe we will, and test it. But I've got another one of those boards. I'm hoping to test it again. Now there's still other questions, I suppose, unrelated to the Kitsch-Bent stuff. Okay, so anyways, the reason I'm doing this is because if you look at if you're familiar with N64 controllers at all, OEM ones, I'm sure you're familiar with the waggle. Like, I'm not even, the controller is not even engaged. Like, it's not, I watched a couple of videos about how to maintain and lube and stuff, so I'm semi-prepared, I think. But I know for a fact that this is not actually doing anything to the mechanism on the inside. So compared to a good stick, it should be, straight up and down. It shouldn't have that much play in it. Maybe a tiny bit, with some wear in. Anyway, so I was going to say that there's still some unanswered questions, I suppose, about other N64 stuff. I kind of started a tiny bit with Mr. Add-ons has been measuring the latency of wireless controllers for N64 for the Mister, probably through Snack or whatever. And he posted the latency numbers for the 8-bit DOE wireless adapter, and it was, respectable. I think, like, on Bluetooth it was like 8 or 9 milliseconds, which is, I think that's less than a frame of latency. It's not zero, but I mean, no wireless protocol is going to be zero. So I think it's a respectable latency number. However, he also showed the graph. There's this, actually, I think Sanny, the same person that maybe made the Sanny cart reader, I don't know if it's the same person, but they have the same exact spelling of the name SANNI. There's this ROM that's like a controller tester, and it will show you the endpoints of a stick. So you can kind of compare, hold on, we might have a sun-based attack. No, I guess not. Anyway, so you can compare the endpoints, which is like the digital signal output of the stick, and the 8-bit wireless controller. You can also get a Hall effect replacement stick box for the N64. But there's two things. One, obviously, it's Hall effect, so it's different technology than the stock N64 stick, which is this weird contraption. We'll take it apart. We're going to take it apart. But also, it's a different style gate. And what I mean by gate is the physical notches, I suppose, in the box. So like that's how you can, like, the range of physical movement you've got with the stick is based on the gate. So the gate shape is different. So somebody mentioned, there's sort of like a debate about whether or not the Hall effect sensors are good. And really, I linked to my video that I did comparing the Nintendo Switch Online and the 8-bit DOE controllers together. And that endpoint test is really not conclusive. It doesn't really tell you much, in my opinion. It may be okay, sure, it tells you at the end of the throw of the stick, sure, that it matches, but it doesn't tell you anything about the rate that it can move. It doesn't tell you anything about the gate shape, if the gate shape is different. Anyways, I'm just kind of ranting. But there's a lot of questions, I suppose, about what is the best style of N64 stick. Is an OEM one always going to be best? Like only OEM parts always going to be the best? Is this Kitsch-Bent setup going to be good? In my opinion, I think that the stock shape, anything that mimics the stock shape is going to be better than a GameCube style gate, which is what the Hall effect sensor is. So, and I've heard okay things about the Kitsch-Bent. It's kind of like some people say that they're not good. Some people say they're decent enough to match OEM. So, we have to. Okay, I guess we'll jump over to the bench and I'll kind of run you through, in theory, how I think tonight is going to go and what we're going to do. So basically, we're going to open an never been opened stick box to see what kind of goodies or disgusting nastiness is inside. Then we'll take a look at the Kitsch-Bent stuff that I have, and then we're going to need to do some stuff. We're going to do some stuff to the Kitsch-Bent things, because I'll tell you what that is in a second. And then we're going to put them together. And also we have to add some lubricant. So it's all very fun stuff. So let's go over to the bench. We will have to do the Mario. Yeah, I hope we can get that far. I'm not sure, Belmont, if we're going to get that far. Sorry, Bell, you got to go. Now, unfortunately, so I already took the controller apart. I did some cleaning, not the greatest. I mean, if you've ever cleaned a controller that has tons of growth, you'll know that it's hard to get a controller clean on a single pass, I guess. Especially since, like, when a controller is wet, you sort of notice, it's harder to notice dirt and like caked on stuff. So it's cleanish. It's fine for me. Anyway, so unfortunately, in the process, I had taken all this stuff apart, and I cleaned it with soap and water, and all the shells, the buttons, the membranes here. So all this stuff should be okay. Enough, anyways. But unfortunately, this is the stick box that was in this blue controller here. So I have two controllers that are clapped out. So here's one of them, and that gray one I showed you earlier was the second one. This is actually just an interesting tidbit. This is actually the first, I think it might be the only thing, this was the first and probably only thing I ever bought at a Babbage's. That's how old this controller is, and the point in time that it is. I bought this at a Babbage's store that was in our local mall. And I also customized it with a Sharpie. I colored in the Nintendo logo. So anyways, that's why this controller is pretty nostalgic for me, but it's been essentially unusable. This one is, I guess, if I had to comment, it's slightly less wobbly than the gray one. But yeah. But the unfortunate thing about this stick box, is it has a broken tab. I don't know if I did this myself a long time ago, because I noticed that there was some, the mechanism is not here. It's over, well, there's a button pad, membrane pad that kind of goes in here. It's a little small square or rectangle shape, and it clips in here. And it was stuck to here to this box with double-sided or with electrical tape randomly. So I don't know if I must have done that probably, but it's unfortunately has a broken tab. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take apart the gray controller that I was showing earlier and take the box out of that and fix that one and put it in this blue controller because the gray ones are kind of generic. Right next to Spencer's Gifts. Yeah, Babbage's. Yep. Funko Land was the other one. That stayed around for a little longer. But I don't remember Babbage's being very big. Well, I meant like the store, the size of the store in the mall was not very big. So I don't know. Well, I guess it's no wonder they went out of business. Okay, so I'm gonna take this apart too. I tried looking. Well, actually, there exists some, I don't know if they're 3D scans or somebody actually modeled it themselves. There exists some 3D printable replacement boxes. Now, I don't really necessarily know, like the top part is fine. It's really just the bottom part, and the bottom part really doesn't, I don't think it really does anything. All of the mechanical controller parts, well, they're up here. I just want to get to this box because I'm going to be taking this box apart. So I'm going to talk and kind of take that apart. But you know, it's possible I could get Spicer Labworks to SLS print me the bottom part to replace this one because I don't want to spend the like $10 or whatever, or actually probably be like 15 or something for a replacement box. So stick box. And you know, it's probably not that much more to get an actual full controller for, you know, that's just the way retro stuff is. I kind of wish that I had a resin printer. I wish I had the SLS printer because that thing is sick, but yeah, anyways. So we're just gonna take this gray one apart. I didn't clean this one at all. It's just kind of nasty, but yeah, it is what it is. I was kind of surprised that this was I didn't put the length of the poll very long. I only had a couple of hours to be able to make the thumbnail for this, but I had a Twitter poll about what topic people wanted me to do because I was not sure what I wanted to do. And the options were this, and using between this, I got this Miniware MHP50 hot plate was the second thing. One of them was upgrading my Sandy cart reader, and then I forgot what the last thing was. I got a I have a replacement. So I have another Retro Gem board for the PlayStation 2, or I guess it's the Retro Gem board is generic. I got a flex cable for my PS2 Slim because I really want to get that PS2 Slim working.
Do you know what purchase flashlight is?
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What's the cost? So they're not bad. Unfortunately, I've had these Kitsch-Bent parts. So we'll talk about them in a minute after we take this controller apart. But I've had these ones for a while, and unfortunately, they didn't have any of the light gray color like the normal. So I had to buy just these colored ones. But I have some coming, and so I bought two more sets of replacement parts. And I think it was less than $20. I mean, it's still, I guess, a lot for the amount of plastic that you're getting, but not awful. I guess, in my opinion. But you know, I don't know a price for someone selling a new, you know, tight. I hate that kind of terminology, but not loose, not wiggly stick. Maybe you can get like, you know, an actual just an original one that's been well maintained. But if you're anything like me, and probably most people were, you know, I've had lots of Mario Party hours, Mario Party and Super Mario 64 hours on my controller sticks, and that's why they're just terrible. Lots of blistery fingers. But, you know, if you have a few controllers, yeah, you can stock up, and then the shipping is not terrible, you know, just to get them all at once. And it's not a very big package when you get it, so can't grab this other little screw up here. Come on. Come on. Oh my God. There we go. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking about that almost all. Oh yeah, so I'm in this Discord, this other Discord called. I know there's a bunch of like like groups of people that do replacement sticks, and I'm in this. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Tau Sticks, TAOSTYX 64. I don't. I'm not affiliated with them. I know they're another shop, but there's all sorts of crazy mods. Like you can get. So this is a stick bowl, and we'll talk about the different parts in a second. Or stick bowl, I guess. You can get all metal ones, or like the insert is metal, and then you can get metal sticks, I believe. And then there's interesting ones that have like carbon fiber 3D printed grippy heads, like they're more grippy than this. So there's tons of modifications that you can do. Thank you, Belma. Those are probably expensive. So like CNC milled parts are probably are. However, I mean they might last longer. You know, I'd be curious to talk with somebody who's like if somebody was like a speed run, like who would know the best? I guess like a Smash Brothers player or something, or like a speed runner would probably have an opinion about what they prefer, what's the most accurate to them. Okay, so we're getting some good progress here. So now you notice that this one has okay. This is what I was talking about. This is that button board thing, and it has the two clips here. So that I'm fine with this. We'll just use this one for now, and I'll have to worry about getting a replacement one for the other one, because I would like both of these to work again. But they both don't need to be wireless. I don't have another 8-bit do kit anyway, so you know, wired is fine. Smash guys and speedrunners, yeah. This is a little annoying. This mechanism, I suppose. You have to like. I hope I don't break it. You have to like. Oh, I guess it came out easier. So first you have to take this board off, because this board stays behind with the OEM PCB here, and then you've got to pry this part out. So I'm just going to use a spudger so I don't ruin it. I don't rip it or anything, or mar it. And then you can just take the box out. You don't take the black screw out yet. I mean, we're going to need to take the black screw out now, but just to get the stick box out of the controller, you just need to take the silver ones out. All right, so all this stuff is going to hide away. And now we can take this part apart. So I know I think there's a giant spring or something in here that compresses when this is together. So I think that first step is to take this black thing out, black screw. So there's a fourth screw. I guess first of all, let me see. Oh my gosh, it's very like it's already trying to spring apart. Yeah, there's a giant spring in the top. I want to clean out the bowl. Like I'm not gonna, or not the bowl, the gate, the top of this case. I need to clean that out with some IPA or something. I've got some Q-tips somewhere. I pre-gathered some Q-tips, and but I'm not going to use the stick. I guess we can look at it. But then I also have my microscope, and maybe we could do some comparisons to see the differences. So this is kind of very powerful. So I think you do want to kind of close this side first and get these clips off. Maybe I want to use the spudger again. So these huge clips on either side. I hope I don't break it. That would suck. Huh, maybe there's a better strategy. I don't know. Oh, there we go. We can kind of like do one. Whoa. Yeah, you got to be careful because you can yeet this across your room if you're not careful. Okay, yeah, look at the springiness on that. Okay, so now I think we can lift it up. Oh my God, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, guys. It is not. It's not just like plastic dust, but there's like literal hair. But I guess now you can sort of see there is just powder all up in here. Like this is not supposed to be like that. I don't think. Actually, I've never seen like a new inbox. But like we can wipe it away. Probably not good to breathe it, but you know, YOLO, I guess. So that's the PCB, and now you can kind of maybe we should introduce the parts now. I mean, there's well, all right, let's see. We'll talk about the parts that I have to replace, and then we'll kind of see where they are inside of this stick box, and then we'll take it apart more. So I have 4 parts, or at least Kitsch-Bent sells 4 things, right? So they have the replacement. I'm going to call this a bowl. I think it's called a bowl, which is where the actual stick sits in and wiggles around in. Okay, so these pieces make contact. The bottom of the stick has like a bump, and it makes plastic on plastic contact down here when you move your controller around. So that's those kind of 2 things together. Then there's these gears, these black pieces. They look very similar, but they are 2 different sizes. One fits inside of the other, sort of like that. So when these pieces were together, they made contact with each other, and there is a certain way that it goes back. So like it kind of looks like this part. Well, yeah, just trust me that the bottom of the stick goes through both of those black gear pieces, but they all touch each other and they all rub. You know, they all make contact. So that's all plastic on plastic contact. And the problem with that is if you put no lube, they're going to wear out. And I suppose eventually they will wear out, and that's sort of the advantage of metal. Well, metal probably can wear out and stuff too, the good stuff. So eventually, when we get a little further down the line, there's 2 different lubes that I've got, and I'm not going to use the one that I think most people probably would/should use. So Super Lube is it comes up a lot when people talk about what should you use to lube. Super Lube, actually, you can get this at Harbor Freight. They sell this at Harbor Freight, but it's a name brand, Super Lube. So this is probably a good option if you're just you and you aren't weird like me. But I'm going to try something semi-exotic. If you have ever built a custom mechanical keyboard, you may have some of this. This is Krytox 205 grade 0 lube. So this is, and I have a little brush. So this is what you would lube the inside of a mechanical key switch with. So I'm going to try this. I don't know. Just thought it would be interesting. Plus the brush is a good way, because I've seen people use like paper towels to spread the lube around, and I think it's just better to just use a little brush thing. At least I find it. I find it that's a good way to do it with. Well, that's probably the only way to do it with mechanical switches because you have to get inside of it. So we'll get into that in a second. I guess I just want to clean this and disassemble it more. Now, I guess we'll start with this half, the top half. I think I've got to press this down. So I've got to press this. There's this gray outer ring which is attached, or which the spring sits on this side anyways. So if I push this down, that will allow me to rotate the gear and get it out from the stick. So that's what I need to do. And then I can actually take the whole stick out. And now I'm going to try to clean this as best I can. So I'm just going to, for the inside, I'm just going to use a little brush here, and unfortunately things are going to go on the floor. But, you know, I'll clean it up afterward. I don't want to be too loud with like a vacuum or anything. Or if you have compressed air or a vacuum, that's probably the better way to do it. But it cleans up without really any, well, you know what? Well, I'm going to mostly get the big stuff off, and then I can always hit like everything with some IPA. So this side is fine, but it's the other side that's nasty. I don't really know how much of that is going to come off without some... oh, some of it does, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it came off. Probably can't really tell because there's still a lot of stuff in there. But so this is what I was talking about, the gate shape. It's different. It kind of goes like, it's not an it's not perfectly octagonal. And I actually have the GameCube stick to show you what I mean. This is irrelevant to the video, or to the stream, but the GameCube style stick is more octagonal. So you have more throw up here, I suppose. So, anyways, that's just a side note. All right, so that's that. So we can get rid of the gray. Well, yeah, so this is super worn out. You know what? We can, before we start lubing everything, I want to look at some stuff under the microscope because we have to do some other prep. But we can also compare the difference between this new Kitsch-Bent stick and the worn out gray one, because I don't know if you can tell. You'll be able to tell on the microscope, but here it is worn down, the gray, the original one. So that's kind of interesting. So we're gonna clean that one a little bit, the inside of this a little bit better. Don't lose the spring thing. Or this white washer, which probably needs to be also cleaned. I might have to hit that with some IPA and cloth. Okay, so that's that. So that's the top part. Put that aside. Go back to clean it. And look at the bottom part. I guess we can probably just remove this. The PCB just slides right up. And we're going to get to the wheels in here. So there's two wheels. Oh, actually, the whole bowl comes right out. There are two wheels on the bowl that we need to rescue these. Now, as far as I know, this is how the N64 controller works. There's actually, and actually this might be a cool thing to look at the under the microscope. These wheels, actually, I think these are like IR sensors on the board, PCB. And the wheel makes and breaks a connection here, and that's how it knows how far you've turned it. Which is kind of cool. I don't think there really is any, so it's like an optical switch, I think. Optical controller, which is kind of neat. I don't think there has been another controller like that before or after, maybe. I don't know. Somebody might know. Put it in the comments if you're watching the VOD, or if you're a viewer. Yeah, I think this thing is mostly fine. It's not really that gross, as long as the inside of the part where the wheel goes is clean, mostly clean. But I don't know if I want to mess with putting something in there. So I put that aside, this board aside. Now the bottom thing of this is probably nasty, but this is what I was saying. You could probably 3D print this. I mean, with an SLS machine, it's fairly accurate, but there's nothing in here. Like the bowl goes inside of this, so there's no real like mechanism that is in here. So you probably could get away with a nice, if you had like a resin printer or an SLS printer, you could probably make a nice replica of that and not have to buy another one if it breaks. So I'm going to have to reach out to Spicer and see if he'll hook me up with making a few, because that'd be cool. And they're just, well, I saw one model on printables. I'm just off screen here, just brushing the gunk out. There is on printables, or not, is it printable? No. What's the other one that you have to pay for sometimes? I don't remember. There's a 3D printing file site that sometimes you can pay for stuff. Anyways, I saw a complete, and it even has 3D printable gears that you can print, which is kind of neat. So I suppose if you didn't want to buy anything, you could just print the entire thing. And actually, maybe, well, except for the stick, right? Actually, I don't know. Maybe the stick is printable. Maybe I'll have Spicer print the entire box, and we'll see how the performance is. Although not the bowl part, I don't think you can print because it would be too abrasive. Okay, so this looks pretty clean. I'm not gonna go crazy about this part. Although this is a little sus. This is some scratchiness, but on the bottom of it, but it doesn't really matter. It's pretty clean on the out. Okay. All right, so now I really don't want to touch this. Well, okay, let's take this out. Oh my gosh. So this is the inside of the bowl. Now, eventually we're going to be lubing things. I've heard that you do not want to get any lube on these wheels because that's going to make the optical part not work. So I just want to brush stuff off, gunk off, and in the teeth here. Because these black, oh, look at that. I might have to get some IPA. I'm going to get some IPA and clean it off eventually. Yeah, if you get any gunk in these wheels, they're not going to work well. But we're going to be taking these wheels and we're going to be transferring them to the new bowl. This kind of feels like Delrin, like it's an interesting texture. Powdered, it's microplastic, but it just feels sort of weird. No, not Thangs. It's let me just Google it. 3D print. Sorry, I'm just Googling something. Man, I don't know. It starts with a C, I think. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. All right, so this is the bottom piece. Huh. You know what's interesting is I'm looking at, we're going to have to clean up the Kitsch-Bent pieces, but I'm looking at the stock pieces, and they kind of have problems too. All right, what do I mean by that? All right, so let's put this stuff aside, and actually, I think maybe we can rescue these wheels first. Let's rescue the wheels from the original box, and then we can put them on the. Well, I have to clean them, I guess. So the way to take these wheels off is it's just held in place on either side of this plastic. So you kind of like pop. I've heard that you pop it out like that on one side, and then you can take the other side off. It just popped back in, really. So like that. And I'm going to try to attempt to clean that with IPA. And then we can just put it right on the next one, the new one. Hey, Rocker Gaming, how you doing? Just stumbling my way into cleaning an N64 stick. I've never done it before. Do you have any opinions about good N64 stick box replacement parts or anything? Oh, you were working on something, right? Was it an entire replacement stick or something? I can't remember. It's been a while. There's still some pretty deep plastic in here, so I'm just trying to use some more IPA to get rid of that plastic. I don't think this part really matters, but you know, while I'm here, I might as well do as much cleaning as I can. Okay, that seems fine. And then before I do anything, I'm just going to dry it. Gotta. Yes, you do. Yeah, that's funny. Interesting. So I can't remember. It's been a while, I think, since you mentioned that on Twitter. Is it so it's a complete replacement set? So like basically, is this stuff 3D printed, or is it like a new mechanism? All right. So here's this wheel. I think the wheels are exactly the same, as far as I know, but I didn't take the other one off yet. So I'm just going to transfer this clean one onto the new box. I don't think you lube this part at all, as far as I know. Like you don't put any lube in the spoke or anything. Okay, cool. Yes, spinny. Okay, now let's do the other one. Same thing, you just kind of pop it out. And then, yeet. And then we can get rid of this bowl piece. And then same thing, I'm just going to clean it. So a full new module uses that stupid heart. Legacy part compatibility and fully injection molded. Ah, interesting. That's cool. Is it available to try or buy it all right now? Just cleaning the other wheel thing. Okay, then I gotta dry it. Cool. I mean, these parts look not damaged, and now they're clean, so that's something. And now we can put it in the new box. Cool. They don't spin super well. I don't think they have to spin super well. I don't feel any rubbing, right? Because there's a possibility that there could be some raised edges on the box, but I don't feel anything, so I think it's fine. Not yet. Hopefully later this year it will be available. Nice. I'm curious to know to see how well it works. All right, so I guess now I want to show something that I think I'm not sure if it matters and we can do comparisons between the stock part. I mean, it's nasty, I'm sure, but I'm just, now that, you know, from what I've seen versus what I'm seeing now, but like between the stock part and the replacement parts, they look similar. So I don't know. I'm just gonna clean the gunk off it first, and then one of the old ones, I mean, and then we'll look under the microscope and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If the encoder wheels are tight and don't spin well on the Kitsch-Bent bowl, try chasing the hole with a 1.6 millimeter drill bit. No, they feel fine. I don't feel any, I mean, they're, I didn't, I guess I didn't, well, this one is fine. This one is a tiny bit, like it just doesn't spin freely, but I don't necessarily know if it should. You know, so I think I'm going to not do that. I don't think I have that size drill handy anyways. So let's bust out the microscope. I hope it's working. Let me just verify. Yeah, okay. So the part that we need to, there's a part, basically we have to kind of sand something, modify something on the Kitsch-Bent parts. And let me just, it's not even close. Okay. All right, I think you guys should be able to see that. Let me just make sure that it's okay, it's in focus. If you look at, so the parts here, let me get a, this middle, oh God, this tweezers are nasty. If we look, this part here is, I guess some people refer to as an axle. So this is the part that spins in the bowl, this gap, this thing here. And it's on both sides, right? So there's one on the other side as well, here. Now, if you rotate it, you'll see a seam, right? So it kind of goes across the entire part, this bump here. What you'll see people recommend is to sand the bump smooth, right? So it's like on both sides. Ugh, God. Don't look at your fingers in a microscope, it's nasty. Like so here. So we kind of want to make sure that those are smooth. Now, the thing I'm curious about, hey, I never know how to pronounce your name. D, F, and G. Let's go with that. I always forget to put the PCB back in. Oh, no. That's awesome. Or that's awful. If we look at the stock thing, which might make us barf, but, you know, this is for science. Okay. I guess it is. It's still there. This bump, I guess it's more of a valley than it is a ridge. So as you can see, this is a lot smoother. That piece is a lot smoother on both sides. So essentially what we're trying to do is take this, and I'll get some sandpaper, and I don't really know what grit to use. I guess it doesn't really matter. I have some I'll switch back to this other camera for a moment. I think I used this when I was doing my weed trimming, but it's just like automotive sandpaper with a bunch of different varieties. I don't know, maybe we'll start with like, I don't think it needs to be super abrasive, so maybe like 400. I have this 400 grit. Now the thing that's interesting is this gap is sort of a weird shape. So I don't really know, like I have to kind of make a thing, like kind of like, what can I do? I have a, this ceramic, maybe this is not the right, I have another screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver. That might be a good block, I suppose, to like wrap the stuff around, but I gotta find one first. Do not prepare this far ahead. Is this it? Oh, it is. Nice. Okay, so like I'm just gonna try to, you know, it's a good distance. So maybe that is what I can use as a little like block thing. Well, we're gonna try it. It might be too wide. Yep, it's too wide. So maybe we're just gonna do it without that. And I'm just going to do a little bit on where the seam was. So if you kind of like hold it like this and you kind of like cut it, you can see it better in person than you can see it probably in the camera. You can see where the I think it's called flashing or something. It's like where the molds met each other. You can kind of see those seams, and you just want to get in there and you want to sand it. So I'm going to do a little bit of sanding. I'm just going to look at the microscope also. Actually, you know what? Oh man, I think I might have done too much sanding. Let me switch to the microscope. See, I kind of blasted it. But it's better than it was. I can see on the left side it's not great. You know what? This 400 might be too much. So I'm going to go to, do I have a higher? Like 1,000 or something? Oh, I have 3,000. Let's try 3,000. Or let's see if I can find a 1,000. Because that might also, like if you were going at this with like 120 grit or something, that you might be causing more play than fixing it. The gap should be a cylinder, and you want it to be as smooth as possible. If you can always lube it later too. Yep. Okay. So I've got about, this is 1,000 grit now. I just bought a variety pack on Amazon. I'm just gonna try to. Oh, you couldn't see what I was doing. I'm kind of doing it off camera. It's just a pain in the butt to try to. Okay, and I'm gonna do the other side. I'll show you what I'm doing in a sec. I'll show you the results in a second. I don't think you need to do it for very long. And it's kind of like you just make your sandpaper as wide as the gap is and just kind of blast it in there a couple times. All right, let's see the results of this one, this right side. To be honest, not a fan of my work. What happened there? Yeah, it's getting worn down. I think maybe 1,000 is too little. But that's what it looks like on the other side after 400 and then 1,000. It's smooth. Like this side is smoother. So I'm just going to keep hitting it. Then check it. I'm trying not to sand the side. You'll notice the side here. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it keeps this, the width, you know, that maintains the width here. So this is not rocket science, but, you know. Some people might get mad if you don't do a good job. I think that's fine. Okay, so let's do the other end. Yep, so you can see the edge there. So this is really the only, as far as I know, this is the only mod you've got to do that is sort of like, you would not have to do this if you were just repairing or maintaining a stock stick. You probably should get familiar with the whole process of like taking it apart, cleaning it, lubing it. If you have a good stock stick and you want it to last any length of time, because it'll probably wear out eventually, you know. Like, I'm sure if you've never taken a stock stick apart and it's still in good shape, you probably should and clean it. All right, let's check the other side. I mean, it's fine. It's just there's gunk in it now. And now I gotta like, what happens if I do this? Does that do anything? Oh, kind of. Yeah, so like you can see most of the edge is gone. Maybe on the extreme left side it's still a little tiny bit, but I did see. I just want to try this for ha-has. Somebody mentioned that they used a just an X-Acto. I just don't think an X-Acto will get it smooth enough. So I do think it still needs to be sanded. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And I also think it probably will break in a little bit more. So maybe you don't have to be exact, like 100%, but you know that is going to act like sandpaper to your brand new bowl. So yeah. Oh, that went better. This side went better. Maybe I need to do a little bit more higher up. And probably the more you do this, the more you can get a feel for it. Okay, yep. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so that's this one side. Now I've got to do the other one. So that was a small. I just did the smaller one of the two things. Now I got to do this one here. Can I do this? It is sanding the sides, but it's doing a good job of it in the middle there. Okay. That one didn't have that much flashing in there. Seems pretty smooth. All right, now the opposite side. And then we should be able to get ready to lube and put it back together. I have no idea what this looks like for you guys. I don't know if it's terrible or fine. I think that's better. This side already looks fine. Huh. See, this one side is like, hey, I'm cool. I'm fine. Which makes me wonder, you know, how often did Nintendo replace their molds for these things? Probably more often than the Kitsch-Bent people do. Which is basically why this is happening in the first place, as far as I know. Is once the molds for these injection molded parts gets kind of, you use a ton, it gets wider and wider, and then yeah, eventually just becomes unusable. Okay, so let's clean these pieces. I'm going to switch back to the normal camera. Just going to try to get as much gunk out of that seam as possible. And off the teeth part. The other place that I saw flash, there's other places that I saw, like, you can kind of see it with just the camera here. There's a little bit of that plastic here, but I don't think that matters on these. But well, you know, I say that while I'm here, I might as well try to like use some X-Acto to get the big chunks off. Okay. Okay, that one's fine. Now I gotta do the other one, clean it. Cool. Yeah, I think it looks fine. All right. Now I guess we got to start putting things back together. And we'll start with just putting the bowl into the bottom of the box, I guess. And you can sort of see there's two gaps that line up with where the wheels are. So that's how you know which direction that goes in. It only goes in that one way. So that's that. Now, because the stick sits in the bowl and it makes contact with it, we want to lube. We want to put some lube in the bowl part. And again, I guess if you're familiar, this is if you weren't here earlier, I'm going to try Krytox, Krytox 205 grade 0, which is if you work on mechanical keyboard switches, this is the lube that you'd use inside a switch. So I'm going to try it. I don't know. Just I also have Super Lube, but I'm just going to try this stuff. So I'm going to try to put a thin layer into the bowl. And how you apply it with mechanical key switches is you kind of like put a brush into the goop, but then you really you wipe it off. So really you're just kind of barely wetting the brush, and that is all you're going to try to paint on the bottom. That actually might be not enough. So I'm going to try it a little bit more. You really don't want that much. At least with the mechanical switch, it will make the key switch worse than if you hadn't lubed it at all. So I'm just kind of painting all the parts of the inside of the bowl. I don't think you have to go outside of the bowl. I don't think the stick will ever go outside. Like the bowl part, the inside of the bowl part is just a circle. I don't think you need to go on the outer part. All right, so that's that. Now we need to get, I believe, I wasn't really paying attention. Was it the smaller one or the bigger one? I think the bigger one first. So this one actually goes inside the bowl. And I'm actually going to, I don't know, do you have to lube the bottom or do you have to lube the inside? I think you have to lube, so both of the axles, so the things that we just cleaned off, we're going to lube that. I'm not going to lube at the teeth, this gear teeth, but I want to lube the axles, and then I think I need to lube the inside of this half circle part, because that's where the controller stick and the other black piece, they kind of like ride on each other. So all right, again, this is not really an instructable. This is just how I want to do it. This is how I figured it should be done. I don't know. How I'm going to do it, I guess, is what I wanted to say. Okay, so that's that side. Okay. All right, that's this side. Now I think I want to lube both the inside of the circle part and in between the thing, the black part. So, without getting a ton, I'm going to do the inside first. So like, because I think that's where the stick, the N64 stick, is actually going to sit in there. And then I want to lube the top, the inside of it. Not a ton, like I said. You're kind of painting it on and just smoothing it out. Okay. So now I think that we could put this in the bowl. There's a gap. There's a hole that it goes into. Or, you know, the axles go into, yeah, a hole. And I think it needs to be vertical, or in the center, and not in the center. I know that was pretty obvious, but yeah. Okay, so now we do the second axle, the smaller one. This is actually going to be going on the, oh, I need to clean this first, because the second axle goes in, well, so we're going to need to put the, actually, you know what, there's a piece of flashing I saw. There's if you look at the stick on the right side here. Oh, I did say I was going to do a comparison under the microscope. Let's, I'm just going to get that off first. I don't think that has any effect on the, but that's why I'm lubing the inside too, because it will rub against this part, I think. Let's look under the microscope, a comparison between the new replacements, the bottom part of the stick. This is another part that wears out. Oops. Wow, look at that. Kind of hard to tell, but the very end is a semicircle, kind of. And if you see the gray original stick, it is worn out. So that's why, one of the reasons why it's floppy. Interesting. Huh, okay. I've heard that you could put super glue on the end of the stock stick and that kind of, and let it dry, and that kind of fixes it or helps it a little bit, but I can take my sweatshirt off, I'm boiling. All right. All right, that's enough of that. So I think that's all I wanted to show under the microscope. Now I want to clean this better. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know, make a puddle on my thing here. Oh, you can't really see that. I just squirted some IPA onto my gray thing here. And I'm just gonna try to get any residual white gunk from the stick, from everywhere. I guess this is just actual gunk, not stick gunk from the outside here. But then the inside, I'll use the other half. And I want to clean this part pretty good. Or I'm going to try to anyways. It looks a lot better when it's wet, but then when it dries, it'll probably be still gunky. Just blowing on it to evaporate the IPA. I mean, it's fine. It looks I mean, most of the white powder is gone. I do notice scratches in the gate around it, but I don't know what you could do about that. Can you polish it or something? But you might make it worse. I don't know. And then I want to delint it. Get the lint. I need to get some no lint Q-tips. I think that's fine. I mean, it just looks cleaner than it was. There's none of the white powder left. You went down the rabbit hole and you're still in there? Hey, Jimmy RCG. All right, so now, I also wanted to clean this white, this thing. So I'm just gonna take the pool of gunk that I had on my desk still, and just kind of like clean both sides of that. I don't think it really matters that much, but yeah. Okay, so now I think I gotta lube this other axle, and then we gotta build the top half, and then we can put them back together. So I'm gonna do it the same way, which is basically the axle. On both sides. And then in this case, well, I'm gonna lube the inside anyways, because that's where the stick is gonna ride on. This inside part. But also the bottom of it this time, because the bottom of this is what rides on the top of the other one. And that seems like a lot. That's an excessive amount of lube. Cool. Okay, neat. Oh, actually, before I forget, that's funny. I think it was D, F, and G said that they built these and forgets to put the PCB back in. I'm going to put the PCB back in. It just goes right over top of the wheels like that. So that's the whole bottom assembly. All right, now, I don't think there's anything else I need to do with the top. But we do need to, I need to get my stick. I don't think I need to lube the actual stick itself, because there's going to be plenty of lube kind of everywhere. But I do want to put it through. And then I think it needs to go this way. I guess we'll find out, actually. I don't know. I don't know if you have to rotate it yet or not. We've got to put this gear on, or the spring. I believe it's... Oh, yeah, I believe it's skinnier on one end, kind of. Like this end facing up is a little skinnier, so that's going to go down. And then I'm going to put the yellow or the white cap. There's a ridge on the inside of it. The ridge is going to sit on the spring. Like that. Now I actually need to think about how the gear is going to go back. May need to file down the center peg on the housing to allow the new Kitsch-Bent bowl to seat perfectly. File down the center peg on the housing. Oh, you mean under here, in here? Well, let's just try it as is now, and then if it is hard to get together, then I can do that. So this is going to end up being over here. The triangle geary part needs to be on the right, or the top, I guess, on my screen here. So then that means I need to do this kind of. And the circle part needs to go inward and then rotate it like that. And then, oh, it's sort of, it's not, this time it's not flat. See that? It sits on there at an angle. That's interesting. Didn't think about that. Okay, so now I need to make sure that this is the correct position. It kind of locks this in, but this is also going to sit into the other gear. So now I think that's pretty much it. We just need to match all this up and make sure it's all lined up, I think. Yep, YOLO. Ooh, it feels good already. Okay, so that snaps in, and then let me get a screw in it, that black screw in, and then we can feel it. Where's my screwdriver? Ah, it's hard to get the screw and also hold the housing together. Okay, so that black screw, which holds the, come on. The black screw that holds the housing together is the inside of the two screw holes. Oh gosh. Okay. Nice. Oh yeah, I mean, does it look kind of crooked, or is it just the angle of the face of it? See how it's angled upward here? Because obviously that's gonna go. Oh yeah, that feels really good. Do I feel any rubbing? Not a noticeable amount. I think I've heard that these need to break in a little bit, but I mean right now it feels fine. And it's not wiggly like before. A tiny bit. You can wiggle it a little bit, but not like before. Huh. Interesting. So I guess that's it. So let's put it back together, and I guess we'll test it. Should we test it with the 8-bit dough board? I guess so. That's what I wanted to do originally with this thing, but that is a little bit fiddly actually, that board. So let's try it. So this is the bottom. We need to put the PCB in here, the new PCB, which is somewhere. Oh, here it is. So this is the 8-bit dough wireless PCB. I made a video about this. You can watch that if you're interested or not. We're gonna need to massage these. We're gonna need to massage these ribbon cables in a second. Oh, if I remember correctly, this was a pain in the butt to get in. Okay, so it goes this way down. Did I not take these screws out? Oh, there aren't any screws yet on the PCB part. Okay, fine. But I do need to position the cables now. So I have the original control, or the other controller as a guide. So I need to make this guy do a flip. And then I need to put I think it's this. I believe it's this. Goes on this, like that. Well, actually, maybe I was ahead of myself. So now I got to put the new box in. I don't love the Kitsch-Bent color options. I mean, why can't you just? I don't know if there's a different color blue now, but why couldn't you match the controller blue? Or I don't know. Just me. Old man yells at cloud. So we'll plug it in a second because it is compatible with this board. Where's my screwdriver? Oh, there it is. Are these all the same size? I think so. I hope this battery isn't dead. That'd be funny. Well, I guess you could just plug it in with a USB cable. Okay, so now this goes into here. And then they go into the clips there. Nice. Okay. This kind of rubber piece kind of sucks. Oh, it does kind of go into that clip. Okay. Well, we can always mess with that later. Now I've got to plug this controller, or this plug, into this connector here, and I think I've got to do. I think it goes like that. Or does it need to be upside down? Can't really tell. Oh, I think it does need to be upside down. Yep. Okay, so now that's that. Now I think the bigger pain in the butt, other than this thing, was actually the L and R buttons were the worst. Oh, screw this thing. All right, so I need to reference the original one. These go face up. Or by face up, I mean the bumps go up. There's a bump on this board. Okay. And I believe I need to put the gray thing on it. Actually, that needs to go on first because it goes into the slot, the membrane. This is the part I like raged in my video. It was very annoying. Okay. Right. Now the other side. Let's just get the wire in place first. Okay. Now the orange thing. And then it goes into the slot. Maybe. Yes. Cool. Well, that was mildly easier than before. Okay. And then this guy, can't forget that one. All right, now the buttons, the L and R buttons. So I think this is L. And R. And also, there's a little clear, I think the clear nubbin, there's a clear nubbin that fills the hole where the cord went. This thing. So this goes in here. I think it pretty much only goes in one direction. Come on. Oh. Oh, wait, did it need to be under this board? Are you kidding me? Okay. It did need to be under the board, and that means everything went undone. Neat. You guys wanted me to rage for 35 minutes, right? Okay. That was easier than I thought it would be. Okay. Okay, this is the left one again. And then, oh no, my right switch got lubed. Wait, I just want to make sure that that's correct. So when it's flipped over, that actually will be the... I might have it backwards. Yep, I do. These actually might be easier to put on the other side, but don't really know. Okay, now I think everything just has to line up with this very carefully. Oh, this is the part that I remember being super annoying. The cable, the flex cable things here are like super in the way all the time. So I'm going to try to move that out of the way there. I don't really know what to do about this one. I don't really think you can move that one. The LNR was pissing you off? Yeah. I'm just going to see if I can get the shells together first, and then... Ugh. It's awful, and if you don't line it up right, you're gonna destroy the little ribbon cables inside of there. Basically, have to undo all that work I just did. I think you want the ribbon cable toward the middle here to be as flat as possible in the middle part of it. I might just say hell to this and just plug in the whole stuff. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? F this. I'm over it. When I have another friggin' hour to mess around with this thing, I'll come back to it. But for now, go screw yourself, 8-bit dough. No, just kidding. I think this board is fine. It's just, at least this one was one of the like original ones. So I don't know if that means it was just, maybe the newer ones, I guess, come out better. But I'm just gonna plug in the old board. Yeah, whatever, fine. Oh, this piece needs to come out. I guess you sort of have to copy the original ones. Why it doesn't come, well, the wires are coming out in like the wrong places in the 8-bit dough ones. This right one or whatever is not, but the left one there is like right smack dab in the middle of where it needs to not be. Okay. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, shit. I put two of those rights on. Okay. Oh, my God. And I got to do the cable. Okay. I think the play is to just put the cover on first. Make sure the Z thing is in. Make sure your wire's not in the way. Okay. Okay, now I got to put the buttons in. Wait a minute. Was I putting those in the wrong way the whole time? Might have been. I guess. I just feel everything. Okay. I think these are in, right? Okay. All right, so now carefully let's put let's put all the screws back in before this thing flies apart again. Sorry, yeah, I didn't clean the cable. It's one thing I didn't clean. All right, getting there. One more. Then I gotta bust out my N64. All right, thank you guys for being patient. This, the whole just putting it back together again thing is the most. Hey Ryan, how you doing? Just putting the controller back together just makes me want to throw my controller. I don't know. I mean, I just if you look before I get my N64. You really have to, if you're going to use these the 8-bit dough kits, you have to like flatten. You basically have to pre-smash it like way over there on this side. So this side was fine, but this side on the real controller it comes out on the left side here, but on the 8-bit dough one it comes out on the right. So like, how are you supposed to make that flat? How like? Ugh, it was just getting in the way all the time and being super annoying. So, I don't know. I didn't have the patience tonight to do that, so. All right. Whoops. Dropping everything. But, this is the Kitsch-Bent N64 stick replacement parts. So, I have a couple sets of them, but we took the stick box apart. Here's another one that has. So, this is one of the stick boxes I have that has, it's like super clapped out. This one is not as bad as the one that I fixed tonight, but so the Kitsch-Bent replacement part, it's pretty much semi-stock. So we're gonna test it out now. Let's get my just gonna go by the feel of it. You know, N64 stuff is kind of not super scientific. Well, I wish there was better, I guess, better ways to compare them, other than, you know, obviously if it's a wireless controller. Wireless latency, but also like it's not just about the endpoints in that endpoint test program. You also have to consider the shape of the gate. Oh, we kind of talked about all this already, but shape of the gate, and also the rate, and also the dead zone. The dead zone would be like how quickly from center does it start detecting movement. That's kind of like where the dead zone is. All right, so I got my N64 plug, power plug. This is my N64 digital. Signed by Dan. He Sharpied it one Retro World. And I've got a little mini HDMI going into the RetroTink 4K. Oh, this is kind of awkward. I need to put the console. I don't know where I'm going to put the console. Yeah, I guess I'll switch to this. Oh, you guys can look at my setting up crap. Yeah, a little sus. It's got stuff all over the place. Oh, I need to make sure not to put the 8-bit dough board down because it does have an exposed battery on the back, so just got to be careful. I'm just going to put it actually back in the thing. Oh, then I got to get my flash cart, which, so when I originally, I have basically one of every EverDrive kind of. I don't really buy like the latest and greatest, but like once upon, when I first got into retro stuff, I did buy an EverDrive. So this is not an actual EverDrive X7. I think this is the older one. But excuse me, the case that I bought with it was like this blue, like see-through blue, like ice blue, and I didn't really like it. So I bought a shell from Crix, I guess, a replacement shell, and I had to cut holes to make the I think I actually had to cut the top because I think the newer ones have a micro SD card, or it's in the side or something. Yeah, it's in the side. So I had to cut a hole in the top. I had to jerry rig basically this case just so I could have a gray one. But I got a gray now. That's funny. Because I think Stone Age Gamer is where I got them originally, and they stopped selling replacement parts. All right, let's get, or for that version I'm saying. I think they probably have newer versions, but the older versions I don't think they have anymore. All right, let's test it. It's already on HDMI mode. Let's get this game capture. And really the only thing I'm going to be able to do is kind of like, oh, the SD card was not in at all. This is better. Oh, I forgot to plug the controller in. That would help. So I'm gonna go immediately into
It's me,
Mario 64.
Hello.
Let me know if that's loud. I might turn the volume down. Hold on a minute. I don't know what the well, this is 1080p, so it's upscaling the N64 digital is upscaling to 1080p, and then the RetroTink is whatever. I'm not gonna fiddle around with video settings. You guys can just it's fine. Okie dokie. What happened to save files on here? Guess there just aren't any. Oh, you know what I should have tried first? Is a controller.
Yours truly.
Is there a button test program on? Oh, whoops! It actually worked. Is there a button tester program on? Probably in the tools. Let's try it. Yeah, controller test. Oh, this is actually what I was talking about. So this is Sani, SENNI there. That's what I was talking about. So we could do a stick comparison thing before we do the tiptoe test. We'll get there. We're just gonna check this out first. And I think it has a preloaded new stick. Oh, press start. Okay. Press a button to test or move the analog stick. Oh, A button, B button works, R button, L button, Z, D-pad, up, down, right, left. Okay, cool. Oh, hey. Start. Press Z to change mode. And start to benchmark. Okay. Okay, to start the benchmark, hold the stick at its utmost position and press A. Now hold it upright and press A. Right and press A. Down right and A. Down and A. Down left. Left. Up left. Now let go. Wow, look at the results. Not bad. If you're familiar with this shape of this thing, it does look a little bit. I mean, it could have just been how I was holding it. Also, this is a worn out gate, so this was the one that was the worst. The stick was the worst, so I'm assuming this gate is probably the worst also. If you have that ROM, okay. Yeah. So, oh, can we go back? Unfortunately, we can't go back, but that's what a fresh one looks like. Does it go back to hours? So here's hours, and then so like if you look at hours and then a new one, it's not 100%, but it could have been how I was holding it, or I kind of want to try it again. Let's try it one more time. And then we'll do the tiptoe test. See, full up doesn't go up. Although maybe I have to mash it. Not mash it, but... Like I said, this test isn't really super... It doesn't tell you a ton. Oh, A. Okay. Oh, God, it's even worse now. Yeah, so this gate is kind of scuffed. So I'm going to chalk it up to that. Like it's... I do notice if I look at it, the bottom is sort of rounded. So I'm just going to chalk it up to that. But, I mean, it's close. All right, let's do the tiptoe test. Like I was saying, that doesn't really tell you everything there is to kind of know about it. That's sort of the one problem I have. It doesn't really give you a feel for whether the controller is good or not in a game. So that's why we play games. I mean, this is also not a what is the word I'm looking for? What is a qualitative test, not a quantitative test. That's what I was trying to think of. This is sort of a weird color blue. It's like a baby blue. Just got here. Is there something special about the type of joystick, or is it just a regular replacement? It's just a regular replacement, basically. Just trying to see if it's like a stock stick. And it took a little bit of doing because we had to use some sandpaper, but and then I used some lube. The specific lube I used was Krytox 205 grade 0, which is the same kind that you use for mechanical keyboard switches. But some people use super lube, so you could use either or. All right, tiptoe test. Here we go. Tiptoe, tiptoe. It's pretty easy to do. I would be pretty happy with this. I mean, it's not perfect. Like I said, I think my favorite controller that I've used recently is the NSO, the Nintendo Switch Online N64 controller. So you've got full range of motion. The problem with the Hall effect replacement from the so I like the functionality of the 8BitDo wireless board, which replaces the stock controller motherboard and lets you connect to any Bluetooth adapter, so Blue Retro or something. I like the board, and I like the functionality, and it worked well. And it is compatible with stock sticks. So if you have a nice, crispy, I guess is a weird word, but if you have a nice, tight stock stick, then it'll work great with the Blue Retro or the 8BitDo drop-in board. But I don't like the Hall effect stick because the gate shape is different. Like you can noticeably, so I think especially for this game, Mario 64, Mario, like it was made for the wider gate. Like I did a close-up before of what the gate looks like, the original stock gate versus the GameCube style gate. The GameCube style gate is more of a perfect octagon, and the N64 is like in not the cardinal directions, but like northeast and southeast, you know, those are further out. And I believe that games were designed with that in mind, and you get more range of motion in between. If the gate physically won't let you get there, then you're not gonna get there. This is all there is to it. Can we get the red coin? Oh, whoops. Skill issue. The other problem I had was with the Hall effect sensor, I couldn't walk across this bridge pretty straight. And I had no problem there. Two times I tried in my video with the Hall effect sensor, and it was hard. It was difficult, whereas this is no problem. So I would be, if you don't have a good stick, I guess I'm trying to think of like closing thoughts. If you don't have a good stick, and you don't want to try to buy just a good stick, or find a controller with a replacement, or find a good controller with a good stick. I think you would be happy with this. For the price especially, it's like, for a whole entire set, for all the things that I showed, you know, the stick, both of the gear pieces, the bowl, is less than, it's like $6 a controller. So if you, let's say you wanted to kit out 4 controllers, that's gonna be like 20, 25 bucks plus shipping. And you fix 4 controllers that way. So yeah, I would feel confident with this. The problem with the Kitsch-Bent stuff is the colors sell out. So like gray sells out often. They also have clear, like a glow in the dark one, I think, something like that. Black. But when the reason I had to use this like baby blue is they didn't have any of the well, they didn't have gray. I wanted gray when I bought them, but they didn't have gray at the time. I did actually. They were in stock earlier today, in gray. So if you should check it out and see if they still have the gray. If you're gonna, I'm not affiliated with them, but yeah, tell them. I think their affiliate program is basically if I refer you, they'll give me a 15% off coupon, which, you know, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you know, I'm not affiliated with them. I don't have any sponsorships or something. I just kind of thought of this. Did you guys see that FPGA ASM Spaz is working on the thing for the Mister core, where it will output, it can output 480i N64 games in 480p with the Mister core, which is kind of nuts. Where'd I go, Babam? Just slow down. N64 chugging. Chooching. Well, we did it. That was my speed run of Mario Star 1. Mario 64 Star 1. Actually, you know what? I have a good, the controller. I actually think the gray controller I showed in the beginning of the stream had the best stick originally, and that's what I put in the Jungle Green build when I put the 8BitDo controller in there. Oh, now I can actually see through the controller and see how I put the controller wiring. I did it kind of not right. All right, I'm gonna go back to the bench. I think this is a win, for sure. Let's. I'll kind of give some more thoughts and compare it. So this is a stock stick. So we'll do some feel tests. Yeah. New personal best? Yeah. Only how many minutes? That's funny. He dropped the core in Discord this morning. Who? Oh, yeah, the N64 core. Yep. So this is an unmodified stock stick. So I have not ever cleaned this, which now that I've done this, I kind of want to, but I'm kind of concerned that I might make it worse. But it is very. So this is the best N64 stick that I have. Actually, now that I feel it, it feels gritty, which is not a good sign. That's probably this stick starting to wear out. So I definitely should take this stick apart and clean it out. I don't think I'll upgrade it to Kitsch-Bent, or not. It's not really an upgrade. It's more of a rejuvenation. It's like getting new parts for the stick. But the Kitsch-Bent, unless, you know, it's possible that my sanding could have been better, but I don't feel any grittiness like I do on the stock stick because of the lube. So the problem is there's no lube probably anymore in the stock stick, and so this kind of feels better, but it's still more clapped out than. I probably could put a tiny bit of lube in the hinge, like there, where the stick, you can't really tell, but where the stick meets the gate, is where it kind of gets held in place, where the ball is. I didn't put any lube on that, so maybe I could put a touch on that, but I don't really want to get it into the gate and, you know, like get it gummy in the gate. So that's what it looks like with that baby blue. I bought the green one because obviously I was going to put the green one in the jungle green, so maybe that might be cool. Oh yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get Spicer to print me if he's willing to. I'll get Spicer to print me the bottom half of that other broken box, and I'll unclap it out with the Kitsch-Bent. I just like, that's funny. It's a funny saying, so I like saying it. And I'll put it in this one, and that way I can put the stock stick. I'll clean it out and put that stock stick in the gray controller. Yeah, I wanted to make this the wireless also, so that I have 2 wireless controllers, and this one is kind of a fun thing. But I have those gray sticks coming, so maybe I'll just, instead of doing colors, maybe I'll just put this back to gray because I like the gray. Oh, but now I can't unnotice the grittiness of this one. So it's like a ticking time bomb. Well, I finished early for once. We didn't go late. We kind of touched on everything I wanted to talk about. It was a success. I think it was a success. Like I said, it's probably not as tight. No, I mean it's identical. And you can just hear me feeling N64 controller sticks over the internet. Up and down is definitely in both cases. Up and down is less wiggly than left and right. I don't know what that indicates, but I was fortunate to grab a non-scalped NSO N64 controller, but need to service me OEMs. Yeah, never heard of the Kitsch-Bent before. Seeing a bunch of neat stuff. Yeah, they have some different projects besides N64 stuff on there. I think there's some replacement shells and things. So I'm not super familiar with what else they provide. Oh, I guess we can, for a second, we can look at this Discord. The Tau, I think it's called Tau sticks. There's a crazy, there's just crazy stuff on here. So I'm gonna see if I can find the. So this is what I was talking about. That Let me mute that. This is like a fully. Oh, you guys probably can't really see. This is like a fully metal stick and bowl assembly, I believe. Oh, that's what I was talking about. This kind of carbon fiber 3D printed piece. And I think this is a whole new module, whole new to like 3D print everything with metal internals, the stick and the this is made. I think this is made of brass. Crazy. This is probably that $50 thing. But I see a whole bunch of other stuff. Wow, look at that. That looks awesome. This does look like an it is Zelda themed with the damn. I only want that. I bet you that start button is probably $1 trillion. It does look cool. I like the gold and the plus it's black. So maybe it is injection molded, and then this is brass on the inside. So this is a brass stick. Gotta stop looking at stuff. It's gonna make me spend money. Wow, look at that. Solid brass. I think it's brass. Oh, bronze. Oh, one's copper. One's pure copper. And this might be might be prototypes, but copper and bronze. What the heck? Crazy. You can really go get lost in this. Is this all metal gears? Why would you want that? I don't know. There's some people in here, some speedrunner people that talk about these things. Oh, here's a whole 3D printed set of sticks. This looks like SLS printed. Here's a metal. This is a metal start button. Interesting. Oh, here's what I was talking about before. This like metal insert for a 3D printed resin shell or a bowl. So like the metal, the part of, so like the metal sticks. So I think you use these with metal sticks. So you get a metal stick, and then you use the metal bowl, and the metal on metal I think probably is more durable than the metal on plastic. And then you still got lube them, I think. Wow, just crazy. Yeah. There's an open source CNC machine project thing that I've been following. But I don't think it's powerful enough to machine this kind of stuff. But you can machine aluminum, I think, and wood and stuff, and acrylic. But I really want one of those because that'd be cool to be able to just CNC cut stuff. Wow, that's cool. Green resin. There's so many rabbit holes of things. All right, neat. So that was Kitsch-Bent. I think I'm satisfied. I think that you would be satisfied as long as you follow the steps and as long as you don't. I don't really know how you would verify unless you had your own your own microscope. I don't know how you would verify easily that you've finished rubbing or sanding all that flashing away. I'm not sure. I guess probably by feel maybe, but that's the part that's going to rub away the most on the bowl part because they both sit in the bowl. So, I don't know. That might make it difficult if you're just looking to upgrade. You do want to get rid of the bumps there. But it's probably good enough just to like eyeball it and just get some sandpaper in there and then move on. All right, so next time, I kind of failed. I'm going to talk about something different now just for another minute. I was trying to test out this before I kind of talked about it, the hot plate. This is the Miniware MHP50. I saw this on Natalie the Nerd's Twitter. It has the capability of being powered with a DC power adapter or USB power delivery up to 100 watts. And I have a 45 watt, which I spent a lot of money on. I think I spent $60 or $70 on this, but it's only 45 watt. But it doesn't turn on at all. This charger, the charger that I have, this power delivery charger, it's the Ugreen, this guy, Ugreen GAN fast charger. It's probably an older one now, but it only does 45 watts, and this is a 20 volt thing. So it can do 20 volts at 5 amps is the max power rating, but this only can do 20 volts at 2.25. So it's still a max of 45 watts, but at 20 volts, which would be only 2.25 amps. So this doesn't even turn on this. I have a different charger that's only like 20 watts. So at 20 volts is only 1 amp. It turns the thing on, but it tells you low voltage and it doesn't do anything. So now I have to buy either another USB power delivery, a different one, and I spend another like 60 or 50 bucks or something on a 100 watt one. Or I could try to source, which is probably way cheaper, a 19 to 24 volt DC adapter for 100. I think those go up to 120 watts. The limit on the DC input is 120 watts, I think. So that would probably be a lot cheaper to find one of those, although I have to make sure I get the right plug size and everything. So I can't even use this yet. But I got this hot plate, so the original reason I got it, I suppose, is to go back to that the Picogus, the RP2040. I have more RP2040 chips, and I want to see how much easier it is to use this hot plate to solder the RP2040 chip to the Picogus versus using hot air, because it didn't power on after I populated everything. So, but I can't even use it. So that's that. But now that I think the next thing I'll probably do next Sunday, in a box up here, that box, I have the PS2 Slim flex cable. Now, most of the work on that console is already done. Everything is pretty much cut. The hole is cut. I mean, I think the mounting holes are drilled. I was using that console to film the original RetroGem. I was going to make a RetroGem video, PS2 RetroGem video, and I failed. And then Dan said, well, the PS2 Fat is easier because the specific model I have is more difficult because it's the video chip that you're soldering the flex cable to is like 90 degrees and it's just got crap all around it, so it was more difficult. But now that I have a microscope, it should be no sweat. So I would like to re-tackle that and finish the RetroGem install on the PS2 Slim. The PS2 Slim, though, has, in order for it to be really useful, I mean, I don't really have that many physical PS2 discs. Just saying, I'm going to have some. I have Dynasty Warriors and I think I might have like Final Fantasy X, but I don't have many. So I would like to check out, if it's ready and available, I would like to check out that internal M.2 SSD mount thing. I think that's a thing where you can like put an M.2 SSD inside and solder to the IDE connection, something like that. I think Modsville might have done a video or talked about it, something. So that'd be kind of cool. And along with that, I have that internal Blue Retro adapter thing from Gus or Guess. So that I can also do in that same console. So the Slim can have just 1,000 mods or whatever, you know, a bunch of mods in it. So I might do that. So that'd be kind of cool to start that. Is that out? I don't know if it's out. Fickle Pickle, I like your name too. We can Google it just for a second, just for ha-has. I think it was called, let's see, M.2 SSD PS2 Slim. M2 PS2, is that what it's called? Okay, so here's the thread on circuit boards. The original build of this was hand wired. All the 40 IDE wires were hand soldered. So that's why it's an absolute mess on the top of this thread. But if you look at the bottom here, so it's like an actual PCB, physical PCB. Oh, that was over. Wow, it was over a year ago that they made the flex board and everything. So this flex cable goes. Oh crap! Is this really? Oh no! Does it go around it, or is it actually soldered to this chip? I think it just goes around it. The way they designed the flex cable, it looks frightening. But so, anyways, half of this mod I think is a flex cable install. So it's here, and then you can see it folds around on the other side. But then there's I wish there was more. Oh look, V2 PCB. As of this year, a month ago. Update. I tinkered with the PCB and implemented some changes compared to the first version. So there's a new update. That's cool. Why did Google Translate work? Here we go. So there's a whole, it's not a GitHub repo, but there's a whole BOM and the Gerber files. So I could actually build, well, I don't know what the price, I'd have to see if PCBWay would be willing to do that because it might be expensive to have them do both pieces and the flex cable, both the, maybe this is a little behind the scenes, but I'm sponsored by PCBWay. This is not a sponsored stream, but sometimes they do sponsored streams. And they send me custom PCBs and things that I ordered. They gave me a $200 limit, and so each of my projects that I make have to be under a $200 limit. So that's like what you guys would pay, you know, up to $200. But that enables me to do things like enig. So like usually enig is more expensive than Hassel. So I usually do enig on a lot of stuff because it's a little harder. The finish is on the exposed copper is not, it's not exposed copper, it's like a gold kind of spray. So this is the Gerber, or the bomb for that project. Anyways, I think maybe flex cables are kind of expensive, so we'll have to see if they'd be willing to hook me up. I don't know. But there's 2 versions of the flex. I don't know if this V2 has all the pieces or not, but I guess you would know if you opened it up. I don't know, something that's interesting. And the components look not super duper hard to solder. I wish there was better pictures of this board with the M.2. Well, actually, oh yeah, look at the SSD is on top of it here. Oh, there are kind of better pictures. The website crops it weird. So this is the main board, and the flex cable connects to this. Man, that's super cool. I wonder if I can ask if somebody has these. Maybe Modsville would sell me one. I have to watch his video, see what he did. But there's a new update, so his video was way before this update, January this year. So anyways, this is the solution to get a hard drive into a PS2 Slim. So that's kind of why, like right now, the PS2 Slim is a little less flexible, I guess. I guess you could load off of a network. So if you could still use FreeMcBoot to load OPL, and then you could load off of a NAS or something. You could do that. That you know, that's probably the most I don't know, flexible install. Or I guess the MX4 SIO also probably would work too. You can load off of a SD card. So that's future. You know, I have other plans. Like I said, I have to get going. I want to get going. Not that I have to. I want to get going on the Micro 8088 project, which is that new. Well, it's not new. Some parts are original. Basically, IBM XT clone thing that is tiny. It fits in this size. This is the case. I 3D printed it already. This would fit the whole computer with graphics card or a VGA video card, sound card, storage, power supply. It all fits in this, and a floppy spot for a floppy drive. So this is this would be an entire IBM XT computer, and it has a spot for a speaker. You can have a PC speaker here. So it's kind of neat. So that's one thing I mean, these kind of computers are slow-ish. I mean, they don't play a ton of games, but it's still neat. So so next stream is probably going to be the PS2 Slim. I do want to get to some Bonzo stuff. I feel bad that he sent me some of that stuff and I haven't got to it. Maybe we could try to do like a Bonzo. See how many of those mods I can get done in one stream, because I think one of them is, some of those things are just kind of like assemble it, or I have a Amiibo spoofer in there that I haven't even used yet. I bought an Amiibo spoofer. Oh, plus I have the Game Boy Pocket Color laminated screen and another replacement case, so I have to put that together too. All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Kitsch-Bent, I give it a thumbs up. I wouldn't give it 2 thumbs up. I don't know. I mean, it's probably comparable to my stock stick, so that I've got the best stock stick that I have. So, yeah, I would recommend it for the how little they cost and how simple it is to do it, as long as you have a microscope or some way to confirm that you are actually checking those edges off. So, all right, thanks everybody. I'll see you on